Welcome to Maths with Bob. Today we're actually going to find some volumes of solids of revolution by rotating areas around the x and y axis. This follows on from the previous video on just finding areas under curves. Okay, so let's rotate this area, yellow area here, around the x-axis. It'll sort of, let's just do a rough look at roughly what it would look like. Here we are, some sort of bowl on the side. Now, how are we going to work out the volume? Well, we know that the cross sections will be circles, so we know it's going to be pi r squared for the, basically the radius will be the functional height, and then we're going to have a height or a width along the x-axis. So the formula is volume is pi. Now we integrate, which we're summing up all these cylinders from 2 to 3. Their heights are f of x. Now, remember it's pi r squared, so that's their radius, so it's squared, and then it's the widths are actually dx. Okay, so now I'm going to have to square my function. Notice that's the first difference. Obviously, areas you don't square the function, volumes you are going to square the function, and you're going to put a pi at the front. So here we go. Okay, so the volume is equal to pi, okay, integral from 2 to 3. Now x squared plus 1, or squared dx. Okay, now we have a binomial expansion here. X squared plus 1 times x squared plus 1. Okay, it's equal to pi, hopefully from 2 to 3. You can use the a plus b all squared result, which is a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. Or you can just use FOIL, or just do it mentally. X squared times x squared is x to the fourth. You get an x squared and another x squared, so you get 2x squareds. And you get a 1 times a 1, which is a 1. Okay, dx, okay. Right, so we've got to integrate all those terms, and then we've got to evaluate it between the 2 and the 3, and then multiply by pi. Okay, so the volume would be, let's have a quick look. Volume pi, let's integrate each of these terms. X to the 4, okay, we add 1 to the power, x to the 5 over 5. 2x squared, we go as 2x, increase the power over the new power, and then we integrate the constant 1 up to x. Now we need to evaluate that again between 3 and 2. Okay, so we're going to have to sort of work out what this is. Okay, so let's sub some values in. So the volume is pi. Let's put so it becomes 3 to the power 5 on 5 plus 2 times 3 cubed on 3 plus 3. That's fed the 3 in. Now we have to subtract off feeding the 2 in. So it's 2 to the power 5 on 5 plus 2 lots of becomes 2 cubed. So it's times 2 cubed on 3 plus the 2. Okay, so we need to work all this out on the calculator, and it works out to be around about 162.94 units cubed. So the volume works out to be 162.94. Okay, so it would be 162.94 units cubed. Okay, so that's the volume about the x-axis. Let's have a quick look at the volume about the y-axis. You can see this green area now has to be rotated around the y-axis. So it'll look something like, let's have a look, a bit of a bowl. Okay, so the first thing when we're rotating about the y-axis, when we actually look at the formula, v equals, again, they're circles, pi, integrate between 5 and 10. Now the radius is now f of y. Sometimes say the x value, so it's x squared, but I like to write in the integrand, keep it variables the same, dy. Now f of y squared dy, well, we've got y equals f of x, so we want x as a function of y, so we need to rearrange this and say, okay, well, x squared is equal to y minus 1, therefore x equals plus or minus the square root. Well, we're going to take the positive square root of y minus 1, as it's actually in the first quadrant, and it's positive. Okay, so obviously this is going to be quite nice because the volume is pi, okay, integral from 5 to 10. Now we have the square root of y minus 1, all squared dy. Now, hopefully we remember that the square root of something squared is just the something. So it just turns out to be a volume is equal to pi, the integral between 5 and 10 of just y minus 1 dy. That's nice because the volume now is pi. We just have to integrate y squared on 2 minus 1, just minus y, and we have to evaluate that between 10 and 5. Okay, so we need to put these numbers in. Let's go, okay, that's pi, let's have a look, 10 squared on 2 minus 10, then minus the 5 squared on 2 minus 5. Okay, so what does this work out to be? Well, 10 squared is 100 on 2, 50 minus 10 is 40, 40 minus, what's that, 25 on 2 minus 5. Okay, yeah, it's about 7.5, so it's about, when we multiply that by pi, we get 102.1. So the volume is approximately 102.10, that's to 2 decimal places, units cubed, 2 dpi. Should write here as well. Okay, alright, well, thank you for watching.